So one thing that these Facebook live streaming sessions that we've been doing has brought up is people have asked about bowing. They notice Buddhist monks and nuns bow a lot. We bow when we come into a hall, we bow when we leave the hall, we bow to a teacher, we bow when we sit in front of a Buddha statue, and so on. And this is the way our teacher Ajahn Chah taught us to practice in the monastery. We bow. It's one of the things Buddhist monks and nuns do. Why do we bow? Well, there's many benefits, there's many reasons. To cut to the heart of it, Luang Por Chah used to say, when you're bowing, you're letting go of self, ego, you're diminishing, reducing your attachment to the idea and the sense of self, if only a little. Because physically you're humbling yourself. When you bow, you'll notice we bow down, we put our forehead on the floor in front of us, we kneel, we put the forehead down and then the arms down either side of the head. So you're physically humbling yourself to what? Well, it's to those qualities and virtues that you aspire to. So when you bow in front of a Buddha statue, you're recollecting these wholesome qualities, the compassion, the wisdom, the peacefulness, the purity of mind of the Buddha. And the way we say is we incline towards those qualities. So not only inclining our mind, but inclining our body physically. Another very useful benefit of bowing is that you're learning to pause or interrupt the flow of all that mental chatter and all that craving, attachment, the trains of thought that are going on all the time. If you bow, you have to physically stop, kneel down, bow 3 times. And as you physically stop, mentally you pause as well. And if you bow many times in a day, as we do, that means many times in a day you're pausing your mind, you're bringing up mindfulness of body and your mental state at that time. And those many occasions, they feed into each other, they support the arising of mindfulness over and over again. Related to the bowing, we have this practice of Anjali, where we put our hands together like this, and you'll notice many Buddhists do this when they greet, as opposed to the handshake. And even world leaders now are adopting it because it's a very healthy thing to do, way to greet other people at this time when there's a lot of disease about. But it's also a very peaceful sign when you put your hands in Anjali. You're showing respect for the other person, you're showing that your hands are there, you're not holding a weapon, or you're focused on that person at that moment when you do that gesture. So whether it's bowing or Anjali, it's a very good way of developing wholesome states of mind. So in the monastery, a junior monk will always bow to a senior monk in a formal situation. When I say junior, that can be junior by 1 day, one ordained 1 day after, or it could be 30 years after. Doesn't matter. We bow to monks who are more senior to us. And another thing Luang Por Chah pointed out with this is that it's a great leveler, a great way to let go of your attachment to your own personality, who you think you are, who you feel you are, your attachment to your ego, your pride, your conceit. And also, it's a practice of gratitude, respect to the Buddha, and respect to that person you're bowing to. And you'll notice, if you bow many times in your life, say as we do as monks, there'll be some people you know, some people you don't, but you bow to them just because they're maybe more senior to you. There may be somebody you really love and respect as a friend, There may be somebody you don't really like or don't get on well with, but you still bow. It's something you learn to do, whatever. And so if you're practicing bowing, or sometimes the Anjali, what it means is you're constantly restraining any anger, ill will, conceit that might come up. And so even if there's somebody you don't particularly like or get on well with, if you can still bow to them or show them respect, that develops a great sense of warmth and harmony in the community. It's a great way to let go of past anger or ill will, things from the past that may have divided us. And it's helping you to get through to the deeper realization of the Dhamma, that this thing we call a person, that we base on personality view and attachment to that, it's a fantasy, it's a creation of the mind. So sometimes it's a kind of a leveler of this in your mind. If you can bow to everyone or see the goodness and have some respect to everyone, then you're letting go of some of your own attachment. It's actually helping you, even though it's not always easy to do. And it's something you feel you never regret. Even if somebody doesn't particularly like you, but you can still show them respect, kindness. That's a good thing for your practice, and it's a good thing for the community. So the practice of bowing is very useful like this. It's a practice of body, speech and mind all in one, rolled in one. It's just one of those things you learn in the monastery, and you can even perhaps try it at home. You can bow to a Buddha statue or a picture of the Buddha or a teacher. When our monks, we go and stay out in the forest, sometimes we even you bow to the Buddha even though you're just camping under a tree. There's no statue, no picture, nothing around. You just bow to the picture in your mind of the Buddha and those qualities that he embodies. So it's something you can do anytime, any place, even though it's a bit we're unfamiliar with it in, say, Australian culture. You can still do it once you bring it into your practice. The King of Thailand came to Ajahn Chah's funeral, I remember, and he landed on a plane at the airport, Ubon Airport, the city where near where Ajahn Chah lived. And then the King and Queen, who were coming to preside over Ajahn Chah's funeral, they came out of the airport in a procession of a convoy of cars. And lining the streets from the airport, both sides of the street, the population of the city and the surrounding areas came out to meet the royal procession. But everybody knelt down when the king arrived or drove past. They all knelt down with their hands in Anjali. And as the car passed, they all bowed to the car, which might seem a rather unusual thing in the world. And even in Thailand, that was quite unusual. Usually when the king travels, you get a big crowd lining the streets, but often they'll wave flags, cheer, and so on. But on that day, everyone went down on their knees and bowed the whole way, and it's about 15 kilometers from the airport to the monastery, and the whole route was lined with people. So the king noticed this, and he asked one of his associates, his staff, he said, "How come everyone is bowing so beautifully and the whole way, like kilometre after kilometre of people?" And his staff member said, "Well, this is Ajahn Chah's teaching. He taught these people how to show respect, how to be mindful and graceful in their behaviour, and this is the result." And it's something that everybody remembers to this day, a very beautiful image of thousands and thousands of people just bowing very gracefully. Another story I remember about bowing was when I was living with Luang Por Anand, and Ajahn Mahabua came to visit a few times, and on one occasion we were massaging him. He'd given a talk and then he was having a rest, and we were just massaging his legs because they get stiff when you get old, and chatting with him. And one of the monks was rather brave and asked Luang Ta, said, "Luang Ta, how did you get enlightened?" And so the question was very bold, but he actually responded to it. He sat up. He'd been lying down, we were massaging his legs. He sat up and he gave us a talk all about the night of his enlightenment and his enlightenment experience, which was very inspiring. Some monks even had tears in their eyes listening to it. And then the same monk asked him, "So after one reaches the state of Arahant, total enlightenment, what next? What does the Arahant do?" And again, Ajahn Mahabua was very gracious and answered the question. He said, "I bowed. After my enlightenment experience, I spent the rest of the night bowing to the Buddha, my teacher, out of gratitude." So that's one question answered. What does an Arahant do after they're enlightened? Well, they remember with gratitude their teachers, and they display it. And one way we display is bowing. One of his teachers, Ajahn Sao, another one considered an enlightened teacher, he got very old, he got quite seriously ill. He'd been in Laos, and the monks brought him back to his monastery in Ubon, and they had to carry him. He was so weak, and they carried him into the monastery, and they were going to go to his hut in the forest to lay him down for a rest. But he said, "Before I go to my hut, I'd like to go to the main Ubosita hall, the main hall in the monastery, and bow to the Buddha statue." They carried him into the hall and put him down in front of this large statue, and he bowed. He's very old, very frail, and very sick. So he bowed once to the Buddha, and he bowed twice to the Dhamma, and then on the third bow, his head went down to the ground, and he just got stuck there in that position, bowing. And the monks around him were just waiting patiently out of respect for him to finish. They thought maybe he was so weak he just couldn't get up. So they went over to him and touched him and found that he had died. He'd actually passed away bowing to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So that's the state of mind of somebody who really has practiced the Dhamma, and the Dhamma has emerged in their mind. What are they thinking of? They're thinking of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. What do they respect? What do they love? They respect and love the Buddha Dhamma Sangha.